You're watching the PN2 Podcast.
Wanted to know. I wanted to know what loud sounds like.
That's loud.
Hi.
Yeah.
So I don't know how well it's going to go. It looks like it's playing okay on my end. I'm not sure about you.
I can see the intro.
Yeah, as can I.
YouTube
Can we do
just
something
says,
to get rid of Miniflatus from the intro? Like, scratch out his face more?
just so you know, may buffer, I don't know.
Fucking Sprite.
Yeah, or do something. Put a Funkel's character head over the top of it or something.
Put my persona on.
Yeah, his persona. Can we just do that? Just a big screaming wolf. He's screaming at the screen.
When I started
Hello,
YouTube...
can we do that, please? I wasn't kidding.
Yeah, I'm funny. Army.
Actually, if the dude has the flash file out there somewhere, that might be able to get
It's 100%.
re-rendered. Yeah.
So yeah, when I started, YouTube said the bitrate was a bit funny and it didn't like it. Now it's saying it's okay, so it may dip out and lag a little bit. I'm not sure.
We'll just have to find out.
Probably streaming the PN2 through Discord probably isn't helping, but I don't care. Actually, yeah, let me change this. No, it's insane. I'll do 480p through there.
Wait a minute, we're recording right now.
Yeah, well,
I like that background.
Oh yeah, actually, is that new? I don't think have we used that before?
yeah, we're on.
Yeah, let me know if I'm getting any feedback. My condenser mic usually picks up stuff very, very faintly in the background, so I'm trying to do something about that.
Okay, I hear that.
Just scream, and then everyone will know. Should we do intros, or I was thinking
It's been
that
long enough, hasn't it? So.
well, we've been bantering. It's could you imagine if they start the news broadcast and you can see that the newscasters at the little podium are like talking, between a commercial break. They come in, the camera goes on, and they just keep going for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, we don't even realize,
yeah.
and it's like, uh-oh.
That's some Tim and Eric level shit. I could appreciate that.
Very good.
I was thinking that when the game finally comes out, I do want to try to credit everybody, not just the Kickstarter backers, but like anybody from the community, especially Discord, who's been helping so thoroughly. Anybody from Gangrene to freaking everybody who has been just on our ass trying to get us to fix the things that we keep on not deliberately skipping over, but addressing and saying, okay, cool, we'll get to that, but then we're doing bigger things. We don't really get the chance, and they keep testing it for us. I need to make sure everybody gets acknowledged. We are going to make sure everyone gets included in the credits, and that's important to me. I want to have, of course, Bill Z listed as lead game tester, because he's put more hours in than anybody else combined, including everybody else who's backed the game, and me and Matt designing the game. Bill has still put in more time than us, like everybody combined. But I was thinking at the very end we could do like a little notice, like an in memoriam, like a rest in peace for Mythlotus, who's not dead, but he's dead to us in that we haven't heard from him in a long time. But I think it'd be really funny to do like an obituary for him at the end of our game.
God
Well, why
rest
not?
his
The
soul.
opposite. Instead of dying, he got alive.
Yeah, right. Yeah, rest in peace in your new life, or whatever the fuck our actual point is here. But I would like to do that. Anyway, intro time. Intro.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for watching. See you next year.
Yep, that was it. There's been no progress. Goodbye. Actually, anybody who's been keeping up knows that's not true.
We got jokes.
Yeah, we got jokes. Most of you out there who have the game right now have already fought against the Savior. You've already fought against Jesus in the campaign. For those of you who are holding off, not watching spoilers, well, that's a spoiler. Yeah, you fight Jesus. But he's been in all the screenshots. That's been pretty obvious he's in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we're getting to the point where there's not really much left to do, but just pump out story mode and move on. So, in the spirit of moving on, I'm Swain. I'm the programmer.
Hello there. I'm Matt Crinkles. I'm doing all the art.
Yes, Crinkles is here too. It's like 85 degrees in Philly today, so we have all the fans on. I want to find a joke in there about like fans of the series, but I'm not gonna because that's stupid. But we do have all the fans on right now. It's blasting us up the ass, so it's gonna be kind of loud in the microphone. It's kind of like a fan orgy in here, so bear with us if we're kind of hard to make out. Who else do we got? Sean, you're running the show today.
Just today,
and every other time too, and you also run the channel. But just today, Sean's here. And then of course the ever sexy Walrus,
Hello.
gentleman himself.
I do voice things in this game, and it's been a great time. And I also God, this is gonna be a good start. I'm trying.
It's like a tour de Retz in here. A tour de Retz.
I answer questions on this podcast. If you want to ask me a question, tag me in the chat, and I shall put it in this nice little Google document that I'm holding up. That I'm going to be asking questions to the boys after our big description of what's been going on in the game so far.
Right.
If the question has already been answered in a previous stream, or I just don't get to it, I'm sorry. I'm going to be answering questions that have not been asked that are pretty relevant to the new stuff. So yeah, be aware. I might not get to your question. Is basically
and
that.
Just to reiterate, guys, you are adding. Walrus did say this, but at him in the messages. Don't do it to PN2 Podcast. Sean is busy playing the game poorly. Too busy, in fact, to be able to tell Walrus what questions you've asked. So if you tag Walrus, it'll highlight for him. He'll be able to get it. Yada yada yada. Most of you guys have been here before, so you already know what the deal is. So, in the meantime, I got to work on that glitchy background on the that glitchy background is on purpose, but it also isn't. Like, some of it is also the shader messing with shadows, so it just makes it look like the city flickering in the background is actually not on purpose and just yet another graphical glitch. So that's fun. Anyway, yeah, we actually updated the music, I think, in this build. I think everybody got to hear the music.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, the truck chase has its own theme song now, and I am excited. It's so good. It's one of the best tracks that Devin has put together yet. And where is that son of a bitch, anyway?
He's getting
Where is he?
He's out today?
Yep.
Out where?
Getting the free furniture.
Okay.
That's
all right, fine, I'll let it slide. That's a good reason. Furniture's fucking expensive. Anybody who's adulted before knows that. Furniture's not a goddamn joke.
A couch for nothing, fucking take it.
Yeah, we bought a new couch for our basement area. Something to actually, like a real couch to play real video games on here at my place. And we had this like little IKEA couch that Liz had before we moved in together, and it sucked. It was terrible, but it was awesome for like $80 or whatever we paid.
Right.
So we just got rid of it. We were just going to hire a service to come and throw it away, but instead we asked our buddies on our Tuesday night tabletop game night, does anybody want a free couch? Fritz, not only did Fritz say yes, but he rented a U-Haul. Like, it was economic for him as a choice to, instead of going and getting a couch, like buying a new couch, to go and rent a U-Haul to come over and help get the couch like out of my basement area and take it outside. And like, he was willing to like go through shenanigans just to be able to get a free like $80 couch. But that's this stuff stacks up. So it's tough being an adult. It's tough having a job, even if that job is making video games. It's hard, guys. I'm not saying don't do it. It's fulfilling as fuck, and I would never change my mind on it. But it's hard work. We've been doing crazy hours, even working weekends recently, just to try to get this thing done by the end of June, which still may not even happen. But we're trying as hard as we can. And when I say done, I mean like early access, not finished. No. Yeah, no. This is our lives now, which is good because as a kid, this is what I always wanted. I just didn't know how badly I didn't want it. So anyway, it looks like game's running pretty well for Sean, except that did it get stuck in the cutscene?
No, tapped out. I couldn't actually see the chat, so it would help if I could do that.
I did some small improvements. For the changelog, if it's not something that you're supposed to notice, like on the back end, I usually don't, and it doesn't change the rules. I usually don't mention it. We have a public changelog now that we try to post on the Discord from time to time. I love.
So we didn't have the egg hanging in there. That
Yeah. There was a small change I'd made that I had fixed it, and as always, I fix something and then I go back through and I change it again, and I change one small thing and now that one thing is broken again. And in a game as complex as this, where Matt and I are the only people working on it, these things happen all the time. I spent most of this last week, instead of working on a fight with motherfucking Tricky, instead of that, I have to work on fixing things that were working every single day for a month, and then now suddenly they just stopped working. And it's because I had to make a small alterations because Jesus can pick up weapons at a distance telekinetically, you know? Like, that little thing now fucked up the ragdoll system somewhere else. It's retarded. In fact, we came up with a great one that Matt and I couldn't figure out, where characters would get stuck. Like, if you use the telekinetic power to pull... Sean's doing a BRB, by the way, taking a quick break. But if you used your telekinetic power to pick up a gun or a weapon with Jesus, once you're playing as that character, and then change rooms, the camera gets stuck in position. And it wasn't throwing any errors whatsoever. But it was this one little tiny thing that was occurring, and I finally fixed it. Figuring out why that was happening was the bane of my existence and took me 7 hours to resolve. And it wasn't game breaking, but it's ugly. All you have to do is swap between your squad mate, Hank, back to Jesus, and it's fixed again. But it's so ugly, and it has to get fixed. So I just settled that I was going to do it, and it's And the project is a lot bigger than it was 3 years ago when we thought we were maybe going to be done soon with a much simpler, easier, kind of crappier looking game. Let's go simpler.
Yeah.
Not crappy. Let's say I like simpler. It sounds nicer. But the game is huge now. It's gone from 1 gigabyte to I think we're looking at like 5.
Wow.
I think it's just 2.5 just for the music. Like it's big.
Yeah, the music is like the biggest.
Actually, I can tell you now. I have my drive open. I can show you what the last backups were. Zipped up. The last backup files were. Wait, that's.
If you're grabbing the whole Unity folder, it's going to like include shit that's no longer.
That is true, yeah. But yeah, the work file is now 5 gigabytes, and that's zipped. That's compressed. So fuck it, fuck us. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's hard when you're just the only people working on this kind of thing. Anyone will tell you, but not to sound miserable, because this is the first time we've ever felt like there's a light at the end of this tunnel. Like we're actually getting towards the end.
Yeah.
Story mode doesn't need much more except for some big boss fights. We have all of the and the stages. Yeah, that's just grunt work. You're right, and it's just core stuff that we need to. That we're done with finally. Like there's not much in the way of like engine changes that need to happen for the game system. Some things that we still need to work out, like how to resolve the whole your teammate finds a way every single time to activate every single dinner bell in the street stage.
He's good at it.
Yeah.
Too bad we didn't make it.
Right, and now that you have squad mates with turrets have to have a whole new system for how your AI companion looks at them. Like, are turrets something you should even run in and fight? Oh look, I saw a turret. He runs in and starts engaging it in combat. He gets himself promptly destroyed. So that requires new thinking. It's not that the coding is hard, but we have to come up with a state machine. We have to come up with a flow chart for how your AI looks at that and says, these are the conditions by which I think it's okay to waste my ammo fighting that thing and possibly dying. Otherwise, avoid it. And if so, how do I avoid it? So we have to set up stages that are intelligent and designed that give them the opportunity to do that. So these are basically the hang-ups and what's been taking up our time. It's not as easy as just make a new animation, put it in the game, put in some collision detection, and just make it look pretty. Yeah, Matt has already learned how to streamline his art, and for him, it's not that there's not more to learn, but there's not more that we need to do much for this game.
To speed up the way I operate.
Yeah, right, because we've pretty much established these are the armatures, that is to say the ragdoll body, physics bodies that the characters use. These are the armatures that we have. That's how a character is designed from now on. Those are the weightings that get used for the vertices, and bam. Yeah. Yeah, and other than improving your artistic skills themselves, there's nothing that the game is, you have a very small palette, a very small canvas to work with here. Yeah. So yeah, that's, I don't know. I feel like it's important to kind of cover that for you guys, like why has this taken so long?
I mean, it was really amusing to watch Jesus turret stuff.
Yeah, it was funny to run in there and you're like, all right, you swap to Jesus or something, and you're like, all right, cool, I'm going to use my powers to be able to surpass these turrets. I don't, no spoilers. But then Hank's like, oh, what is that, a turret? And then he runs in and fights like the 8 of them that are there to basically encourage you not to go that way.
Right.
So you can find alternative paths through the stage. You could try to kill them. It is possible, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah.
Grossly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we could talk about what has been new. And in order to answer that, why don't we see without checking the? Well, I guess fuck it. I'll just do it. When was the last podcast we did, Sean? 9 months ago.
August or something.
A while.
Yeah. It was right before my wedding because I got married right at the beginning. September 3rd, 8 days before 9/11. Never forget. And I haven't. Yeah, podcast episode 18 announcement. Yeah, it checks out. There's been so much time since the last podcast that Sean has been filling up the channel with madness stuff. He's been bootlegging Matt's work.
Yeah.
You will be hearing from our lawyer. Yeah, and then before that, episode 16 was 1 year ago. It doesn't even feel like it's been that long. I don't know why, but yeah. So, yeah, all that is to say that we have been crazy busy recently. We've completely shunned arena mode in order to focus on story mode, because I think the order of events was this. When we first designed and started this game, those of you guys who were with us back in 2014, when we were getting out of the Kickstarter demo and into something more public that we could start sharing with people, which I think actually happened in like early 2015, right? If anybody knows, help fill me in.
Shit. I don't actually remember either, personally.
I think that's what it was.
I'm going to assume you're correct.
I believe that was the case. And back then, yeah, we basically had just a couple of arena stages for people to play with a very limited game system. I just love watching Sean just blast through these fucking bandit assholes.
Of course, the frame rate's going to be a bit off, but...
If he did run to the left, the game should still know how to get rid of him. I added a safety in so that guys that run to the left will just be gone. It just clears everybody at that point. Yeah, because I put that system together for the Mag Bandit fight, so that when he's done, the bandits aren't around like, oh boy, the big hungry boy is dead, let's just keep fighting to the death. That doesn't seem like bandits to me, so they just bolt, and they find anything they can to just get the fuck out of there. I felt like that was more up their alley.
We need more stages like this. It's like hoses down fucking cover.
Yeah. I liked it, and this is another area that I need to find a solution for. What do you do in a stage where there's like 40 guys running around and you can run past them and not have to fight them? Do we start putting up more invisible walls that make you fight them until they're gone?
Right.
And then only spawn them once the wall's down or whatever? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, all that is to say that we started with just an arena mode, and the reason that we did that rather than get into story mode was we wanted a solid combat system first, and the best way to do that was just make rooms with basic enemies and just look like us as designers learn how to make a good combat system that imitates the original Flash game, but still is kind of something like a beast of its own. Because we didn't fully understand what we were doing, at the time. We didn't totally know what we would do with the 3D conversion for this game. So eventually we decided, okay, we got a good arena mode. It's feeling solid. Like we like the system. We're a little bit more confident in it. We know that big sprawling stages like the facility don't work as well as the murder room. So let's get back to story mode. And that's when we started doing the truck chase, the outskirts, the industrial sector came first. And I think that's when we decided that we had to get story mode done first before we can go back to arena, because now we're changing the nature of the game. The combat engine is the same. It's the same now as it was 2 years ago, more or less. It's been improved, but it's the same system, same game. The big difference now is that now we need to know what you can do with that combat system against sleepwalker agents or patients who explode on death, or what do you do against zombies who fight and operate completely differently than the AHW, or just like run-of-the-mill generic guys. The personalities of snipers and gunners and boss characters like the Gunner twins, Church and George, or Jorge we're calling him. We like Jorge better, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, they belong to all of us in a way, even if they are ours. But now that's the idea, is before we can go back to arena mode and properly balance those stages, we have to finish story mode, because story mode puts demands on us as far as the new enemy types and the hazards that you'll fight along the way, like turrets or abominations or what have you. So that's basically what's going on, and we're hoping that we can finish story mode. We're hoping that we can segue back into arena mode as we get into early access, start with those arena stages and just start releasing the other cool ideas that we have along the way, while balancing and fine-tuning the game with the help of all the $15 pre-order backers who've been waiting patiently for the most part for years, for some of them. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically our pacing, and the reason that we have end of June as a timeline goal, again, that is to say, we'll, as usual, probably not make it to June, but we're trying. But the reason that we've estimated it and decided that might work as a goal is because if you look at it now as 2/3 of the way through May, and then all the way through June, that's a solid 5 to 6 weeks of work. We have half of the commercial sector left to do. I would say I'm halfway to mostly the way through the second stage. We have then the third stage of that. We have 3 stages in the mining sector and then 3 stages in the science tower at the end of the game, followed by the conclusion and the final fight. So that there seems likely if we could pump out 1 stage a week. Compared to where we've been and how infrequently those stages come out, That doesn't seem realistic. But bear in mind, most of the reason that this stuff has been taking so long is not because we're stage building, but because we're engine building. We're adding new features to the game. And a couple weeks ago, Matt and I decided that other than the stuff that needs to be done, like certain things for special bosses,
Boss fights, yeah.
we're done adding new stuff to the game. If anyone's like, boy, I hope that they'll add like flying enemies, yeah, no, sorry. We don't mean to say go fuck yourself, but there's no time. Maybe one day it'll happen as like a cool little additional feature somewhere else, but it's not going to be part of story mode. We just don't have time for something like that. And the game is big enough as it is.
Yeah.
For what we're charging for the game, I think that this is a pretty big experience already. We would rather spend time getting story mode done so that we can then go into early access, finish arena with everybody's help testing, and then make that an awesome experience. You know, work on the gun modding and the weapon registration and maybe purchasing base features and new systems for being able to train up your hireable guys and all the other little features that the game can release without them, at least on early access. But that at least can wait. We can't wait on a finished story mode. That has to be finished in order for us to even have a chance with this game if we're going to get to early access and have people publicly buying it on Steam. So yeah, so that's why we think June is a viable option. We're likely to not make it because you never know what bugs are going to come up. You never know if you're going to find another Jesus is telekinetically picking up his pistol and can't travel through doors without the camera freezing bug that takes 7 hours to fix, and thus you lose a day of working on stages. Honestly, you can't predict that kind of crap. But we can keep it to a minimum by not adding new features like, say, telekinetically picking up guns from now on. That was the Jesus and Tricky are like the last of the unique stuff that we've had to work on as far as like core character system stuff. That's the holdup. That's why it's been so long with an update. That's where our focus has been, and that's why we're looking at an end of June with like July on Steam, but hopefully end of June for the backers timeline. I feel like we can almost at least promise that, even if story mode's not completely done, we could still probably by the end of June, early July, get the game into the hands of the $15 backers. At which point we will probably promptly shut down the PayPal, maybe. Maybe not, we'll see. But whatever the case, then we'll give it a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then pop over to Steam and it'll be live. Bada bing, bada boom. It's coming. It's actually happening. So, anyway, I know it feels like a long-winded response, because it is, but this is also like 8 months of exposition as to why isn't the game done? What's the release date?
Yeah.
All valid questions, and I hope that counts as a valid answer. So, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
I never go into this building.
I know, because there's no reason to. This will be definitely very, like, Mr. M-centric or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, like...
Because that's another story mode thing that needs to go in.
Yeah, later down the road, I'd like to take these sort of things more of the overworlds.
Yeah.
Like, just to have them, because they're a lot of fun to go around.
I may have to go back through. I have to decide how I'm going to handle it when you can purchase or just use previous loadouts that you've got before. Like the first time you play a stage, you have to play it with the characters and weapons assigned to you.
Right.
But after that, you can, and even if it's easy mode, I don't care if you play on easy and then switch to Madness and pick whatever loadout you want. I don't care. You choose the pacing you want for this game. We're not hard asses about it. Yeah, we need to get the loadout selection in this game. But I have to decide how is that going to work. Does it just look at all previous stages you've beaten, and then every time you click on a stage, go through all stages you've beaten and say, yeah, you can use this, use this, use this, use this? Or does it save the loadouts that you've used in stages before, and then you can just access those whenever you want to? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know what the best way is to do it yet. Accessing stages you've beaten is more hacker-proof, but also, like, who cares? You know?
Yeah.
Who cares? If people want to hack the game, I don't care. It's
a single-player game, just hack the piece.
So, okay, so before we get to questions then, Walrus or Sean or whoever from our little group, is there anything that we haven't covered, like big glaring stuff that we ought to address before we get to it?
I'm not sure, actually.
This has been like our mandatory 30 minutes of just me talking on my own. We do it every podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to think. Not entirely sure. I think we've got most of the stuff that's been happening since August pretty down pat. It's mostly been to do with story mode. And
right.
Apart from that, that's about it.
Okay. Well, we can handle questions. I'm happy to get to
Have
it.
you filled up a little bit on the questions while we were blathering?
I've got a few.
I hear some typing. I feel like you've been working over there.
I've been doing some shit. It's been good.
I still love this stage, by the way, Power Play.
No, it's fun.
I love where we realized we basically trained you. Like, sure, you played as Hank in the outskirts, and he blasts through bandits, fine. Then you're playing Sanford Demos, and they're shooting up mercenaries, and they're actually kind of a challenge if you don't know what you're doing. At first time you fight gunners, like they kind of catch you off guard.
Yeah.
But then you have these. It's weird. Our version that we're watching over here and Sean's over there are like
Pretty close.
Yeah, doing the same thing. Because you guys are watching a delayed version, but we're watching Sean play on Discord, so you're hearing us a couple seconds later. But anyway, yeah, then you get to this power play with Hank, and we're like, okay, so you're gonna fight like what, like AHW? They're pushovers. They're nothing. They're somewhere in difficulty between bandits and mercenaries, the mercs, that is. So what do? So we started like, all right, well, we're gonna make Hank think. We're gonna give him puzzles. Because Hank is not actually a thinker, he's not a puzzle solver, but he is stealthy, he is sneaky. So, he is resourceful, he knows how to improvise, I was going to say. Yeah, he's very resourceful. So let's give Hank an opportunity to be the guy that can get around obstacles because he thinks outside the box, as it were. He's kind of a chess player, you know? He hasn't got the dictionary memorized, you know, but he's resourceful. So, yeah, I like that this is the very first stage where we did something like that.
And that just keeps coming back to him, too.
Yeah. Oh, and you can see I don't know if you got to notice I'd stuck those things in there.
No, that's good. I want that to be, like, automatically attached to it.
Yeah. Sean hasn't ever played this game before, so you guys are going to have to bear with him. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's never played it.
Ever. He doesn't know how to get through anything.
Not once. Not a one time he has played this game.
No, it's no joke. I literally haven't played this yet.
Wait,
you haven't played the stage before, huh?
No.
I should have just locked you in that room, because the solution's in that room.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
what am I doing here? Dismantle this thing. Oh, shit.
And it's great because people who've already played the stage and get to the new turret stage, the asylum stage, have literally the same puzzle again, and still don't know how to do it.
Piece of shit.
Even though we've given you,
put like a glimmer on the fucking cushion.
even though we've given you 3 wrenches, I refuse to do that. I'd rather just make the wrenches obvious than like have like 10 of them in a stack rather than. Because look how perfectly framed that is on the previous shot.
I guess.
I think that's perfect, and he even pretty much tells you, like, I'm not getting through that with this.
Oh, I was looking at the propane tank too. I was like, wait, why is it red?
Oh yeah, that's the non-life build. Yeah, all propane tanks in the game are now shootable. That one is too. It's just you can't really aim at it because it's up there. But it would go off if you managed to do something.
There we go.
Looks more
Nice.
like already. He had said. So I haven't decided. I guess is that Rich's journal in there? We just sort of wrote it. I don't think we decided.
I haven't.
It probably is.
I mean, he's the only guy here. He's probably writing himself all sorts of notes.
Yeah. But anyway, I really hope Sean actually got the key card. It didn't go flying through the door.
No, you're.
Sometimes I realize Bill Z, our head tester, he manages to get through these stages in ways that are just like, it makes it look like we don't know how to make a game, like it's just way too easy. That's just what he does.
Yeah,
So sometimes we need to add features to the game, like the key card flies out into open space and never comes back. It's the only challenge that we have left that can defeat him.
Yeah, we actually
It's a
were
broken
making.
game.
We were specifically making this game to defeat Bill in real life.
Yes, we were.
That's the purpose of this game.
And the rest of you are just collateral. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I think we made an enjoyable product in the process. You know, there's that.
Did you guys think that the bonus locks engage thing was pretty funny? Where Sean beats up the other machine and it just further locks the door.
Yeah, we thought we were being real funny guys.
Yeah, we thought we were being real cheeky, real funny dudes.
Aha.
Yeah, we had a point and laugh moment. I love it. But then, of course, you just talk to Rich and it's fine. That's right, guys. That's Rich. He's the employee of the month.
He's been employed of the month for 18 years now.
He's
Right,
only
he's,
employee.
something like 30 years. He's the employee of the month because he's literally also the only employee.
Yeah.
But also he's been doing this for 30 years. I like the cell shading on some of those shots. I'm just gonna say that.
The background outside looks like it's snowing.
Our game is fine. All right, so we can handle some questions. I was just doting over our goddamn game because it's awesome. At this stage, anyway, I really like. But yeah, what do we got? What do we got, Wallace?
I shall provide questions, and I shall hopefully not fumble over my words and act like a Neanderthal in the process.
Excellent. I appreciate it, Walrus, because I had to skip lunch to do the podcast, so
Yeah.
I am really hungry for questions.
Gotcha. I'll feed you some. So Cody Sullivan.
Nom, nom, nom.
Right. How in depth will weapon customization be in the final game? So currently, in Arena at least, we have a system for weapon customization, but it's a bit bare bones. Do you have what's the game plan for the future in that when it comes to that?
I think that even though that is something we've talked about in other podcasts, I'm happy to talk about it because, and I mostly want Matt to cover this because I think his expectations for that are what kind of keep me honest about it. Like, I can say what I'm going to code, but honestly, I'd rather talk about what we really want out of it. Yeah, and the reason I'm happy to cover the question is because it has been asked, and because it's a big feature and everybody wants to know. Anybody who cares about Arena anyway,
right?
Is because it has been a while, and I think that because the expectations can and have changed about what we expect from ourselves as we reach deadlines. Real, honest deadlines that we're trying to maintain. The answer may have changed a little bit, so let's see. So Matt, why don't you cover it?
Like honestly, like all of the weapons are like completely like very poorly balanced. Like either doing too much damage, not having recoil at all, or some of the weapon attachments completely break them. So like I want to address like getting all that shit balanced out first, and then we're gonna take all these parts and figure out how to like either you get them as rewards for completing arena maps, or they're sold to you via the quartermaster. At any rate, like we still haven't determined whether or not if you buy one of these mods, do you have it, you can place it on anything, or they're finite. But then you'd be able to take this to the workshop and construct it more or less exactly as you like, while being able to see the stats change, like compared to where it was and where it will be when you're done.
Yeah, like to a degree, I would be okay with like let's say there's a barrel customization that only works for pistols, right? And maybe so long as you have like say a shotgun that shotgun can have barrel attachments, it's like single barrel, it like makes sense to do it.
Just different.
Yeah, like I would say that something that it's not qualified to use, I would be totally fine with you having to pay a premium in Arena to add it, and also it only works at like a reduction of the benefit that it would normally do.
That's not impossible.
I would be okay with that.
Because like there's so many weapon attachments, as anyone who's played the game and goofed around with that workbench can tell you, that like I would like to kind of cordon some of them off to like the smaller weapons, the larger weapons, and then have like additional turns if you were to swap that.
Yeah.
But like,
what if like the quartermaster, like you could do it, you have to pay a premium to do it. You lose some of the benefit of that addition, though you still get the rest of it.
Crossing, yeah.
But also, what if the quartermaster's like, hey, listen, I'm not going to register this cockamamie nonsense. This is like,
I don't know. At that point, I'm like worried about taking too much.
This is like your Toyota with Pontiac parts in it, and you try to take it to the dealership to be repaired. He's like, sorry, you breached warranty. Like this, I can't do anything with this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We could find other ways of making it seem like I don't want to punish, but I want to make it more risky or not as incorrigible, but still totally possible.
Right,
if you're so inclined to be able to do that. Because in late game, I think that withholding weapon registration in some points isn't a bad thing, because it does cause you to have to spend money on expensive weapons that can get lost, and you just keep accumulating money in this game as you play arena mode. So it would be nice if we gave you a reason to be able to expend that money in some way, shape, or form. I don't want it to be because, oh, you bought that nice weapon, now it's gone. I don't want that to be the reason, but as long as you know going into it that yes, you cannot register that weapon. And again, I don't insist on this. I don't care.
No, yeah. This
But
is all stuff that we sort out.
Yeah.
Like before we even get there again, I'd like to like go through all the firearms and put more points on them.
Yeah.
I think at least one more point for barrel attachment, so we can get like a physical bonus one. Or
Yeah, we do need to have at least the pistol whip, like we always talked about that. Yeah. Yeah, basically it would just be like either it looks like a friggin' Bowie knife, like on the handle, or the actual like hooked blade that looks like a tusk.
Well, like the movie blade.
The blade from the movie Blade 2, yes, on the guns. Like Ron Perlman's character has these pistols that have like blade arcs, like sickles that extend from the base where you load the magazine into the grip, that point and sharpen to a point towards the end of the barrel. And so when you pistol whip with it, you're basically scything people.
Yeah. Ultimately, like the meta of it would just be like a melee damage to your pistol whipping or rifle butting.
Yeah,
And
so
then,
you could be a ranged dude that just actually manages to you wouldn't get melee attacks with it, but
have a good backup,
Yeah.
sort of. I did that and like have the point arranged on the gun in such a way that you can also use it for like accuracy boost for red dots and shit.
Yeah.
Lasers more specifically. So I feel like either one or the other as the last sort of active firearm would be Oh, Sean.
I just noticed Sean's stage failure. I was watching the late one and not the one on Discord. Oops.
It's okay, Sean. We still
You'll never
think.
get to the end. You'll never get to Burger Gill. At this rate.
Sean, do you want to save? I can send you my save file.
Probably be quicker.
Okay. I'll look for one in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
So
want to watch you play Power Play for an hour and a half. Break my heart.
yeah, it's going to be a long time. And I do admit that last little fight is kind of tough, even for Hank. And it's not that it's the. I don't know. It's even I
I
have
just
trouble
completely
on it.
walked past the med kit as well.
Oh yeah, you
That's
didn't get it.
Didn't help.
my friend.
I also play all the stages in easy mode, Sean. Feel free.
Yeah, you're not here.
No,
to
nothing.
press anybody.
Yeah, nothing against you. It's mostly just about watching the carnage. But yeah, so I don't even mind if people don't necessarily see the brand new stage. It's fine, but all they got to do is go buy it at projectnexus2.com, and then you can do a lot better than Sean did today.
Yeah. It's like the many a true nerd effect.
Yeah, Sean. Most of these cutscenes you can press enter through if you're not
Yeah,
doing it.
it's
Just
so
letting you know.
shitty.
I was at
Yeah. Enter. Yeah.
Oh, he's-
Yeah, he is now. The enter key, not end. Okay, so yeah, I hope that adequately answers the question about weapon modding. We're kind of deciding if we want to leave the weapon lottery thing in, and we might just do it.
like something that you can do for cheap just to see what happens.
Yeah, and I'll add more UI to it, not new custom UI, but just little pop-ups that indicate, you bust, you lose all attachments on the weapon or something.
Or like just something that would tell you like general change in terms of like the stats, because like fine tuning that shit games like Armored 2 is like jam. I do that, but
Yeah. Oh well, in the real like customizing, yeah, I would say so. I wouldn't mind like when you do it, like boom, you gained like this thing plus this minus this, whatever.
or it could be like, God, what are those people that sell like the $20 mystery boxes that could be full of all sorts of dumb nonsense?
Oh yeah.
Like 1K does. It's usually filled with like dirt cheap.
Or anybody who tried to order that thing from Cards Against Humanity where you get the box with poop in it. And some people are hoping it's a gimmick and that maybe you'll get something, but no, it was a box with horse or cow
Like a
poop.
little plastic tube in it.
Yeah, it was basically that was just dung, and there's nothing fancy about it. They were hoping for a mystery loot box,
Yeah,
but no.
those 20 fucking guys.
Yeah. So, all right, but why don't we handle some more questions?
All right.
Answer the time it takes.
Yeah, we're gonna do a power play of our own.
Yes. All right. On the topic of the questions, here's one for you. Gangrene is cool asks, how finalized is the AI? So it's been like nearly 3 years since we've started working on this thing. How far have you come since then? And do you have any plans for the future when it comes to the AI in this game?
One of the reasons that we've held off on really, we need enemies shooting at the rate that they need to shoot, taking cover where they need to take cover, and more or less picking up guns and giving you a challenge to fight. The AI is working in a lot of senses because you watch Sean and he's still dying on what is the second stage of the game. So I mean they're giving him a challenge, and that's what it comes down to. We don't want to do too much to the main NPC AI, like the main enemy AI, other than just making sure that they reliably don't get stuck on things. There's not really much else. Yeah, but as far as what we've been calling the bot AI, or AI that's supposed to actually simulate another player, we're still a ways away from that. And the reason being is that, like we mentioned before, the dinner bells and getting your AI to not, your AI buddies to not just go run in there and cause you as much grief as possible.
Right. Characters that you expect a degree of intelligence out of, like the sheriff.
Boss fights. Yeah, you need to be playing against somebody who's skilled and can anticipate your attacks. Kind of gets the feeling of what you're about to do and knows how to change it, while at the same time also operating under a boss pattern. These kinds of things. Or if we just want to have a quick deathmatch mode with a strong AI, like in interactive.
Right. Sean, don't be afraid to block the bullets with the sword.
Yeah, your character can block bullets. Yeah. Just to close the distance.
Yeah. Just watching him get fucking chopped up there.
Yeah. So he's healed in the real game that we're watching there. Yeah.
Hooray!
So
Are you sending me a build or what?
do you need a save file? I figured you were just going to be able to do it.
Well, I'll be here all day to get stories and stuff.
All right. Well,
Jesus.
I'll try. I'm going to send you a copy. Hopefully it's not broken. And by broken, I mean my save files are oftentimes caught up with the new version of the game on my developer end.
Oh shit.
So I can find something that predates any of those, and hopefully they've beaten a lot of stages, and that way you get some access. We'll see. Who knows? We'll find out. But yeah, so we
I feel like that's.
So yeah, don't worry, Gangrene. We're gonna give you plenty of shit to break in this game yet, and including and not limited to having an intelligent bot AI. That mostly, more than anything, we're saving that for arena mode, not because your character, your ally in story mode, doesn't need to have it, but because you're gonna constantly be having teammates in your in squad combat in arena mode. That's always going to be there. So we're sort of waiting to improve how intelligent they are about taking cover, assessing who else is in the room, because that kind of thing is costly. To have an artificial intelligence looking at, I mean, I wouldn't call it really an AI, but yeah, having the AI look at who, like everyone in the room, judging who is the best target out of everyone,
and making super intelligent.
Yeah, intelligent decisions based on that. That's very hard to do, and a lot of that's going to be generalized. There's a reason that you don't see that in games like freaking Skyrim, why they all just, or yeah, Payday or whatever. Like that's why you see them just look at you and run at you and shoot. And if you expect more from us than you expect from games like Skyrim, then you're going to be disappointed. But fact is, and Sean did manage to beat that stage, so that's good.
I'm watching him use that shotgun.
Yeah. Let me get to my story modes. But yeah, if you're expecting more from us than you would expect from Fallout 4, then yeah, sorry, not going to happen. But
two guys.
But if it's just dudes getting stuck on stuff and oh, he keeps using the overcharged swing on me all the time.
I like that.
Then
the
yeah.
first time I saw Bandit doing the charge up swing, I fell in love and I didn't want to put that away.
I feel like they shouldn't have it, but golems should have that. I feel like golems should have, and we should have like a better one where they're like, they just like do a
stomp around.
They like yeah, like it could be a total stomp. It could be like they clear up everything in front of them. Yeah. And we could change. I like the mag. We'll have to talk about it sometime. But I like the mag just having a slow charge up where he hits, but it's not actually the charge up attack for him. But yeah, let me get some of my career files here.
I'd love to know how fucking chaotic we get towards the end of your time in a sector.
Yeah.
Well, and like especially once you beat the residential sector, like that shit leads back to the industrial sector. Oh man, that's like my favorite thing ever. After the commercial sector, you're gonna have Nexus dudes running around too. It'll be great.
All right, Sean, I'm going to drag this into our little group podcast chat here, and if you should choose to accept it, this is a RAR file that's got a couple of, there we go. It's got a couple career files on it. A good spread of them, so in case something doesn't work, you can still, yeah.
There we go.
Thanks.
I love the back-breaking thing as the game tries to decide whether or not he needs to do something. Let's get out of Unity.
It kind of reminds me of Conan when you the arrow, it's like T-poses and then ragdolls.
Yeah, because it's unloading your main guy and loading in the fake guy. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, but it's doing that. Yeah. So Sean is pausing for a second. It looks like while he gets the
save files sorted up.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some delicious new content shown.
There we go. I like this because then I can see. Yeah, I like him.
I can't wait, like way down the road, gets like Nexus mag that's less dumb, like a little like more armed.
They'll be more just like the mag guys you'd expect from the AHW, because that's what they're selling them, is those guys.
Giant dudes.
Yeah.
Like Mag Agent N from Project N1.
I liked him. I miss him. Mag Agent N, just a big ass dude in a fuck off suit and a big fuck you gun. We could look into doing those oversized guns as well, because like there's only so much you can do with like, okay, he's using a minigun like a pistol. Does that really make sense?
I mean, sure he could, but no,
yeah.
Let's give him a big gun. It's just canonically madness.
Yeah.
I'll try that build.
So, why don't we do a question for once?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For once in our lives.
For the first time ever, we're going to handle some questions.
It's never happened before. This is a first time, brand new experience for us. Questions, whew, it's new business. All right, let me see. Where are you, beautiful question? Ooh, yeah, here we go. Jub the Nub asks, do you guys watch YouTube playthroughs of Project Nessus 2? So, this game's been out for, like, at least in beta and alpha for a while now, and people have been playing it and recording it for ages. Do you guys occasionally pass through and look at what people are doing on your game?
We do for sure.
Absolutely.
Karamita is one of our favorites, by the way. Karamita, am I saying his name right?
I think that's how.
I always fuck it up.
I remember his reaction to Murder Room 2, like when we very first saw that, was something Rebel did. They kind of like used as a precedence for like further stages to like just wow the shit out of people. Forward, or at least make an effort to. I mean, halfway? I don't know. Probably not. But
well, he like all right. Well, but also in general, it's sometimes hard. Like you know that feeling you get where somebody just like they either get your name wrong or they get a fact wrong. They say something and you've got this itch where you need to correct them because it's just that important to you. That is how it feels sometimes when we watch older playthroughs or Let's Plays of Project Nexus 2, and it's a build of the game that is so old that we've fixed things that are glaring in that version that we're watching, and we hear them complain about it. And granted, they complained about it a year ago or whatever. But it's sometimes it's hard to watch because we know we've done better since then, and we've fixed things because of people like Let's Players.
I absolutely adore watching like the way they get stuck on things, the way they engage the enemies. Because like Swain and I have been just inundated with this stuff too much. We're like good at it. We can maneuver the game rather well.
Right. The game, the whole control system, the scheme, the combat, everything is based on the way that we feel it should be. But also, after a while, the things that shouldn't be, we just got used to, and now for us it's just a normal part of playing the game. So we lose that scope, that see the forest for the trees kind of thing.
Right, so when someone sees something as like an obnoxious feature of the game, like it can be kind of illuminating for us, like, oh, you're right, that is kind of like broken and dumb.
Yeah, and how good would it be if that just didn't happen that way anymore? And thanks to people like Gangrene and Bill Z, all of you guys, of course, that are playing it and sharing bug notes with us. But we've managed to find a lot of issues that otherwise would have just been in the game because we just don't even know they're there. Right. Yeah, we're playing with them, but we don't think of them as issues. Also, Sean, is this really the best save that you could find?
Yeah.
Or were any of them broken?
Wait. Unless they just don't show up.
Did you put them in the story mode folder?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yup.
Okay, well, enjoy the factory stage, I guess, guys.
Welcome to the factory. It's the best stage in the entire game.
It is, yeah. I do like that we've been going on for about an hour, and Sean is 50 minutes into the game, only through about 3-4 stages.
Yeah, it is.
Our goal to make this a game that lasts about 5 hours with story mode is actually probably going to pan out.
Yeah.
That's what we want, a 5-hour gameplay like playthrough. Most games don't have that.
And then just going to...
Yeah. I don't count games like Hotline Miami where you get stuck on that one stage and take an hour and a half playing the same room over and over. I don't count that as gameplay. It's don't get me wrong, Hotline Miami was not only one of the most amazing games ever made, but also an inspiration for this one in a lot of ways. Yeah, exactly. Right, the way that the combat flows in this game, how it changed from Project Nexus 1, which does predate Hotline Miami. Yeah, Hotline Miami did that for us. It gave us a lot to work with, inspiration-wise. But that having been said, I also don't count it as being as much gameplay as you might think. Look at how long it took you to do it. Well, that's about a third of that is the actual gameplay.
Yeah,
the rest is
saying, like,
repeat gameplay.
The gameplay is as fast as you can speedrun it, but there is an average you can pull through.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again.
Also, questions?
Questions? I can do this. It's my job. I gotta yell out what people want.
It's your job.
It's my job, man. Ignarcy. Oh God, here we go. Igarni SNG. There we go. How long will the story campaign be? So we talked
5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Nice.
So just
Fucking churning them out.
Next.
5 hours. There we go. Let me see.
5 hours, and just to give them a real also. There's how many sectors do we have in the game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sectors. Each one has about 3 stages, and we're aiming for about 5 hours of gameplay. Without having to replay stages, because you play like Sean.
That and like all the arena mode stuff, which has like I don't even know how many stages there are there right now.
Do you remember when it used to be this game was like Pixel Punchers, where you could like, if you were on a ledge and fell off and started melee attacking in the air, you'd like float until you stopped meleeing. You'd slowly drift down, and eventually you'd fall once you stopped melee attacking. Yeah. Do you like the sparks in the background, Sean? From time to time, you'll see some sweet sparks in the background.
Background of what?
Just the background.
Just the background.
There's like windows into like construction areas and stuff.
Oh, see
yeah.
Just a little bit of flair. In that there stage.
I might actually start looking into when things happen to change the structure of which waypoints should be able to see each other.
Yeah.
I'm going to look into doing quick, like at least room-wide fixes. Maybe other rooms still know which connects to what, but as like things go up and down, changing on the fly. Like, oh, looks like this
This is
changed.
true, especially like with the change of making turrets, like creating dead zones that the players don't want to go into.
Yeah.
Or the AIs do.
Yeah.
And then if that turret is eradicated, then they are pretty weird. So that is a change to the pattern.
Exactly. I'm going to look into how costly that is, because to be honest, I have no idea. Every time we hit play in Unity in the developer tool, the editor to test, that a lot of that delay that's happening is the game making all of the calculations and defining all of the variables that need to be set. Anything from this is what all the blood textures are, and that's where to find them in the library, just making those references. So you don't have to load them on the fly, and also they're not held in RAM because they're actually held on the hard drive. But it needs those references. All that stuff is being calculated, and one of those things that's calculated is the waypoints. So that's one of the reasons sometimes guys get stuck on walls in rooms like Sean's fighting in now, where walls go up and down, creating new obstructions. One of the problems is that I always forgot there's a computer back there. By the way, I know it's not. The one up top is. You can tell because the screen is static. It's universal for don't use this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't tested since the beginning how long that actually takes to do. So they're basically pre-baked at the beginning of the game. But anyway, yeah. So I hope that sort of works with that. Yeah.
All right, very nice, very good. Can appreciate that.
Confident now with my question.
Yeah, I was just about to say you answered somebody else's question like immediately after that. After like Charlie just said, how
Which
many?
one was it?
Charlie Halson said, "How many stages are there in story mode?" It was just like, answered it. So well.
Yep, that's basically it. And we'll probably add like a Easter eggy like story stage or something somewhere. Anytime we have like a single room stage that we want to do, we just think, let's just put in arena mode.
Yeah.
Like we want to put like a Newgrounds-esque type thing. Like a Newgrounds thing. Yeah.
Like just recreate the office what you want.
Oh, remind me to tell you later, Matt. I thought of what we should do for Halloween this year for an update.
Okay.
And I don't want to stay down here and spoil it, but it's adequately creepy. And I was talking to Sean about that yesterday. It's good. Here, I'm gonna whisper it. Nobody listen.
Yeah. No.
Like,
Yes,
just,
no, that's
and
right.
how creepy would that be? Freaking weird.
Yeah.
Everybody in the game. So yeah, screw you all. All of you guys are gonna take this to like Audacity and like increase the volume and try to figure out what we said. It's not gonna happen.
That's fine.
It's like when you go into like you see like someone's like artsy like DeviantArt picture of like a nude model who's being adequately like modestly concealed by shadow so that it's like, you know, totally PG, but then you take it into Photoshop and mess with the levels and you can see everything. Just saying, kids. It's back before there was Pornhub, you had to get desperate.
Gotta improvise.
It's like that. Only madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of questions we got?
Yeah. It's been a little while.
There's something
For questions.
there's something we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I don't.
Giant-ass tanks, so they're just there to fuel the fucking fire.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just they're constantly venting fire for no reason.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that works anymore, Sean. I was just watching the part where you threw the weapon at the gate.
Oh,
The
no,
bridge to
no,
come
it
down.
works.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh
dun.
shit, we're about to watch them get beat up.
Yeah, this is the first Blood Sun. Because before this, it was the Mag Bandit has, because he's slow and deliberate,
Yeah.
has Murder Room theme. And this, of course, is our Mortal
Yeah, you
Kombat!
just get chased around by that.
Yeah, where we're like, hey, Devin, DJ Lochnar,
Yeah.
do the Mortal Kombat theme. He's like, okay, and then did one that was better. God damn, I love this song. To me, this is the best song in the game. Though I'm loving the new truck theme just as much. Yeah, for different reasons.
From Power Play.
Yeah. That one,
It's all
right?
very good.
Yeah, because it's so reminiscent of the cartoons. Not just because it's Chesh, but because it just feels like old school madness. And that, my friends, is how many stages are in the game. So what's up, Wallace? What's up?
Yeah, on the topic of the soundtrack, Redness asks about when should we expect the official soundtrack after early access? Or,
Yeah, but mostly because we're still waiting for some of the high quality stuff from Cheshire to come to Devin, who's handling all the transitioning from raw files into a build that the game can use. So that's mostly what the holdup is, and a lot of the music is in the game, but you won't hear it yet, which is why the game is much bigger. But there's not that much more content, is because we just
Frustrating,
it's in there for testing, and we should just have a smaller build file that we can just export with, but we haven't done that, and I'm talking to Devin about getting that ready for the next build. But all that is to say, we're basically waiting for it to go through testing, waiting for the high quality stuff from Cheshire to come to Lochner, and then we'll have that. And I'd like to have it out hopefully at the same time as the game goes to public early access, where everybody on Steam has dibs on it. Because we're pretty much done with music. We have everything we need except for a couple of like remixed versions for like end credits from existing songs.
Like you were saying, the high quality version from Chesh. He's got to dig around his hard drive and do those too.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. All the songs in the game are done, and there's like 3 times as much music as we ever thought there would be.
That was the best part.
Which is awesome. And oh my god, like we're gonna have because of Devin and Cheshire doing so much music for this game. We're gonna have like music for days. Like for arena stages, we can go back through, and anything that was a song in arena and story, it doesn't need to be anymore. We can just swap it with a new one if it's appropriate.
So fun.
Yeah, like we used the horror song, which his name I always forget. We used that for the rooftop stage in arena.
Yeah.
I love that song, but now that it's in story mode, maybe we swap it out or something. I don't know. We have all this music now. I don't even know what to do with all this music.
Yeah. How about hold all this music?
We have almost as much music as we have questions. So Walrus.
Right. Look at all
Yes.
the stacked up.
Yes.
We got a lot of questions stacked up. I'm gonna give you one real quick. Dakua asks, "What will you guys do for advertising?" I remember this actually reminds me of when we were actually initially trying to push this game on Kickstarter, and that was a fun time.
That was my full-time job. I was basically I didn't have much more game coding stuff to do. I spent most of my time doing art for the Kickstarter. I mean, we both were doing it, Matt and I. But I was basically. But as you, Matt, the art guy for the game, like you were still working on assets and stuff for the game. I basically stopped coding to produce like promo stuff, like pictures of the back shot of the sheriff wearing the little. That was my favorite fan art I ever did. Was the sheriff with his with his quad shotgun and his like tactical armored vest, or like polyethylene military style, like plastic military vest or whatever. Tactical vest, his tac vest, that's what it was. I could say words, say tac. I think I just had a huge bit of nostalgia of referring to something, if like taking questions from Walrus, well that part's easy. In the old industrial stage, in one of the old podcasts before this one, the sideways one that we got rid of, that was like too big scale wise. And me referring to something, like trying to refer to something as tactical and then saying tac something. I just had a like real deja vu.
Nice.
Like I think like the deja vu of something I've actually done before, not the feeling that I did, but I actually did. Weird. Okay, we need all of our beta testers to work on that. Find the moment where I start by saying it would be shorter if I called something tac, or it's short for tactics or something like that. Find it.
Need it.
But
Go kill the sheriff, Sean. I know you can do it.
yes.
Does it even work on this save?
What?
I mean,
I don't know if
I
it's
think
even in
it
this.
should
Well, there's nothing there, so I'm wondering if it's just a broken save or something.
Did
Because
you
I had the dialogue for like.
It could be, Sean, that the game thinks you already beat the sheriff stage, so it's not giving you the arrow.
I win.
So just go to. What's that?
I win.
You win.
you win.
Yeah, guys, this is as far as we've gotten with the game. All the stages you saw people playing, they were doctored. All right, so Sean, follow my instructions. Go left from here, okay?
I'll just go. I go.
Cool. I will lead you to the stage. This is probably from one of my stages where it thinks that you've beaten the sheriff stage already. But because you hadn't beaten the warehouse stage, it told you to do that one first. So go left.
Oh, you mean the first one?
Going left.
This
No, sorry. I took you to the warehouse. Don't go there. Go right. I looked away for 1 second.
What?
I swear I've played this game before. Go up here.
Up that
Shit.
street.
Yeah, go up and to the right.
Up and to the left.
Stop murderizing people and go up and to the right. There you go. Go right here. And that's your stage right there.
You just gotta stop, Mom.
Now you have to, and now do the same thing but with Sanford, because you can't do it. Okay, no, he's with you. Cool. Swap to Sanford and do it. Ow!
Do it.
Yeah, this is
Please.
definitely a version of the game that thought that you were.
Oh shit! Hang on. I'll fucking see. There you go.
I know, because my game is too powerful. You
Too
can't
strong.
handle my game.
Alright, what's better? Are we better at making a game, or are you better at being a gamer? If you die, you're better.
Goodbye, rest in peace, Demos. Boom! It's just like the cannon.
Alright, Yeah, get in there.
Get in there, do it. So, okay, I think we may have started a little bit off track from the original question.
That's impossible.
Yeah, never.
What was the question again?
We were asking how Dekua was asking,
right?
Yeah, how are we going to do that moving forward? If you think
we're probably going to have to do the same thing, but we're probably going to call on all of our contacts.
Yeah.
The biggest one,
players.
the biggest one is Let's Players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Matt was saying, like we're going to try to insist all of our buddies, like I know a lot of you guys know Rubber Ninja Ross from I guess he's with Game Grumps now, but we know him originally from Newgrounds. He was one of our like bigger like pro speakers as far as like saying he looks forward to this game, and that's a pretty big obligation for us to try to meet his standard of expectation. He said he's looking forward to this game. He's like, he can't wait to see how it looks, and well, now it can't suck because
physically can't.
In front of his billion fans.
Yeah, because fair to say, Ross has been one of the like, despite his success and fame, he's been one of the like more honestly nice guys from Newgrounds that I've ever known to be.
Yeah.
He's always been friendly, even while Igor was honest to God too busy to show up for Pico days because the man works like a freaking horse. When Ross shows up, he's like, you know, he tried to make the time. He went to everybody he knew to remind them, you know, hey, it's really good to see you. It's just, I don't know, he's all around a pleasant fellow, and I'd hate to disappoint the guy. Not the least of which because I want to make a good game, and I trust his opinion. So we're going to be approaching fellows like him. You know, a lot of you guys know I'm buddy still with Chris O'Neill, who lived here in Philly for a while. Introduced me to a lot of shitty video games that have changed my life, like Space Station 13. So I want to try to, you know, return the favor by introducing him to the shitty game Project Nexus 2 someday. But hopefully with a working copy, and if he's really feeling up to it, maybe we can get him to play it for us sometime. Like part of his Oni plays. But we'll see, and we'll see if any of our buddies from the old days are willing to give us a hand and give us a fair review, even if the game sucks.
Yeah.
Then and to honestly assess it that way. We're gonna try to go that route.
Yeah. I know for a fact I'm sure as shit making another advertisement / thing for my channel.
Yes, it's perfect.
Like, that video has somehow become the second most viewed thing I've ever made, and that's slightly odd, but you know what? I'll accept it. If it's for this game, I'm damn happy about it.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out, is that Devin in there? Oh, there he is.
I just showed up. Hello, everybody.
There he is!
As I live and breathe, it's DJ Lochnar.
Yeah.
Did you get
it when I
free
say
stuff?
Lochnar? Do you prefer Lochnar or Lochner?
It is up to you. You're gonna put on some headphones. So
Gotcha. Just like Giving Tree or Jibbing Tree, right?
Yeah.
I like that I don't know how to pronounce my freaking company name.
Jibbing Tra.
Well, because Giving Tree only works as a pun on Giving Tree if it's pronounced Gibbing Tree. And Jibbing Tree is the only way that it actually makes sense in that it's jibs,
Swear.
as in giblets.
Are
From
these
exploding
corpses,
people in Quake.
Are these corpses ever going to go through this tunnel?
No, they won't. You know why? Because there's not really a hole there.
Yeah, you've been rused.
Yeah. Welcome to the real world, you son of a bitch.
Sausages forever.
I just love that they roll over on themselves just forever.
And then just gets slowly mulched in the ground. Yeah, beautiful. This is an allegory for life itself. It's great.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing for advertising. I think YouTube Let's Plays are going to be the biggest one. We will eventually start showing up at conventions after early access, or during, I guess.
Yeah.
There's one in Ohio that I think we're going to try to make sometime in the next few months that our good buddy and affiliate, but also former roommate, Afro Ninja, is going to be attending. So we're going to see if we can get on board with that guy and pick up a table of our own. And oh yeah, shameless plug for him. Anybody interested? Go to Steam and download your copy of Soda Dungeon for free if you don't already have it on mobile. It's a really awesome game. It's like it's like one of them clicky combat type games, but it's sweet RPG action and totally child safe. So it's everything this game is not.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out that game. I'm really proud of how well those guys are doing. I'm looking forward to their sequel. But yeah, there we go.
Really like
You didn't pay me to say that. I just like the game.
Really like how well Demo's threw the grenade there.
Yeah, I slightly updated the. So I figured it out. I did a really cheap version of when a character is throwing a grenade, he checks his target and he looks in an area around that target just to make sure that there's no allies nearby.
Yeah.
that's actually what I thought was happening. What is actually happening is it's checking to see if your target, if your ally's target, if he is throwing a grenade at somebody who's also targeting an ally, and if that ally is close by. So if he's not targeting an ally of yours, then he's like, bottoms up.
Yeah.
Enjoy your grenade.
Have fun.
Yeah, because checking against guys in a room is constantly very costly. That's a costly operation to run, so I try to keep it to a minimum. But also costly is blasting your teammates with a grenade, so I think I don't know, I may have to prioritize that.
Little balance.
Yeah.
Fucking love that visor.
Yeah. I think EA's still using it in the live one. Yeah. Of course, because it gives it to you right before the room with like a bunch of ammo refills.
Yeah.
So, alright, what else we got?
Yeah.
What else we got?
Questions I'm hearing about?
Yeah.
Well, it's a rumor, but apparently there are some. Let's see. Yeah.
Shouldn't listen to everything everyone tells you.
Yeah, no, it's a dangerous habit. Poland guy asks, is the come on words, is that Zed's Zed Survival being a separate DLC rumor true? There we go. Okay, now the sentence makes sense in my head.
The fact that if we do it, it'll be DLC, yes. And when I say if, I don't mean like if it'll ever happen. It's more like, are we going to work on other projects and then come back to it or something? Or prioritize it with more Jesus / like sheriff antics in story mode or something. I don't know, because we're thinking of doing like, would it be cool to tell their story a little bit from the side? What happened to Project Nexus? After Christoph shut the project down and killed Phobos, what happened? Like, what is the sheriff's story? Like, what did Hank have to do with that? Where does the canon come into any of this? We've talked about ways of addressing that, and who knows? Maybe people appreciate story mode more than arena mode. Maybe people don't want Zed survival as much as we think they do. But there's a lot of options, and we do still want to do Zed survival, and it would be DLC, and it wouldn't be very expensive at all, because I don't really think it'd be a very huge complex game. But I do want something where you can wander around and build guys, not unlike arena.
Right.
It would just be a little bit more, again, survival oriented.
Expansion on the existing.
Yeah, exactly. Just bear in mind, anybody who's like, "But you promised." Well, bear in mind, we also didn't make the Kickstarter goal to try to make it an involved experience. So, if you just want a game where you can shoot zombies and run around in a wasteland, that's really kind of all we promised with the Kickstarter, and we need to see if that's even worth it or even fun at this point. So, but yeah, the idea of it being DLC is pretty much sure. Like, if it does come to pass, it's going to be in the form of DLC. This will not be part of early access. That part is definite, 100%.
Fair enough. Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yes, yeah, I know a lot of people were asking that in the chat, and it's good to get some clarification on that point.
Yes. It sure is.
Cat Yay asks, Cat Yay, excellent name. So, how many Steam keys y'all have left? Plan to buy the game on the 3rd of June.
We have infinite keys. We can print as many as we want to. It's like it's like free money.
Yeah, Zimbabwe dollars.
Right. It's more a matter of when are we going to stop selling them, and that will probably come to pass sometime at the end of June or early July, probably. It's most likely. I think we're going to probably shut things down, because like, what's the point? My thinking is it's more as to thank everybody for having pre-ordered. It's kind of like, what's the point in having pre-ordered? 4 years ago, when the PayPal went up, if you could have just waited and gotten the game for the same price today, what's the point? Not just today, but during the early access limited edition version of the game where you're still helping us test. What's the point? So if we shut down the PayPal, which has been my thinking for a while anyway, put the game up on Steam where it will undoubtedly cost more than it does right now. We're thinking $20 to $25, maybe $25 with a discount down to 20 for launch or something. Yeah, right, a launch discount. Because Steam is not. I can't really talk about it. We're bound by non-disclosure, but we can say that we can't just jump around with prices. We can't just be like, today the game is $20. Never mind, today the game is $40. You can't really do that. But you do have as much option as you want to just do sales whenever you want to. We can make the game cost $500 and say there's a 900 or like a 99% sale on the game.
Like most of the time, right?
Yeah, that kind of shit you can do, because it is kind of skeezy to set the game for $20 and then suddenly charge $40. Can't really do that.
No.
So, but anyway, that's the incentive. As far as the number of keys we have, that's never an issue. That's free money we can just bring.
Yeah, you just have to make sure we don't hyperinflate.
Yeah,
right.
Get a few of those
as is the case with all currency. All right, very nice. Okay, another question coming your way real fast. Dempsey17 asks, is the title glitch ever going to be fixed?
Well, yes, because we're going to redo the menu entirely. There's something going on in that menu that's destroying everything, and I sometimes wonder... So if I open that scene, which is the main menu with the background, if I open that scene in Unity, 50% of the time, it just crashes Unity. It just closes. Not even while running the game, it just crashes. So I have a version of that menu that has everything turned off that I can go to for testing. And basically, there's something just outright broken in there. And I wouldn't doubt that some people are just having that issue come up, and it's just causing the menu to not open. So we're redoing the menu sometime in the near future, and there's no reason to go in and spend 10 hours trying to fix a bug and test it in an environment in Unity that just is going to crash on me anyway, if we're then just going to throw it all away and then do it again from scratch. So sadly, the menu bug is something that has been coming up. If it does, just mash enter and escape, and it should at least advance the menu. I think I even made it so you can press any key and it just comes up, but just button mash and see if you can get rid of it, and if that doesn't work, then we are working on a new menu. We've just been trying to finish up some of the game assets for backgrounds that will make it a more like a cooler, more memorable experience.
Yeah, we got plans for that, man.
Yeah, we do. Even like originally, our idea was to have like you click arena mode and then a camera zips over to an area of a cool background where now you're looking at Hank and Sanford and Demos gearing up. Or you click on arena and it goes to your last arena character that you had, and he's like sorting through weapons or something in this like little room somewhere. So it's like an organic experience. And we're not entirely sure if we're going to do exactly that anymore, but
I like the idea. It'll just happen to fight like crazy.
yeah, the other idea, right, was to just have guys killing each other. Not unlike interactive mode, just dudes spawning and fighting. But because the game can't handle it. The game can do it. I've got an event system set up ready to go that just every time a guy dies, it respawns that squad and just boom, 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 just pops them out. So, and it would be neat to have the guys that are fighting based on the dudes that you've unlocked, like from story mode. So so it
develops.
Yeah, or maybe it's just based on the last story save that you played. So it looks up that stage, looks up the stages you've beaten, and then makes guys based on those stages. So you can have these like huge battle royales of zombies versus AHW versus bandits, versus Nexus versus freaking all of it.
Dude, that stuff is so much fun to do.
Yeah. Sean, I also find it's easier to use your squad combat thing to first resurrect your teammate so you don't die, then get him up there to the ledge on the right.
I don't even know where he is. Also, I just realized
I should press it so if you press X, it does a ping and shows you.
Well,
I was just playing that section the other day. I died and wished I had a checkpoint.
He's in the top left, Sean. God damn it.
Please.
Top left, there he is.
You can do it, Sean. I have complete faith in your ability to be a video gamer.
It's okay, I died here
Now
too.
command him to stand up there at the top, and then it's okay, guys. I
X is
hope you
not
like
the right
the sheriff
button.
stage. You'll be seeing it a second time.
Yeah. I gotta say, the sheriff stage is like nightmare for me. The amount of times I've had to replay it just because it's so goddamn hard is many. It's a really difficult stage.
And see, the problem is, again, me and Swain are just fucking sail for it.
Yeah, because I know the squad commands. Sean, it's a hold control and press center mouse button, and he'll stand up there. Also, you're about to die. And next, on the next play.
Yep.
Sean, why don't you find a stage where I've beaten the commercial sector and play that instead?
Yeah,
there isn't any.
I wonder. It may have removed it because there may actually be errors in the save
Also, I
file
can't.
because-
Having X as the key doesn't really work because I'm trying to take cover and accidentally swapping characters, so it's kind of very irritating.
because of X. Just don't press X.
Yeah, but that's the key to swap character.
It's one of them.
But C is to take cover and they're right next to each other.
Oh well, you can type, right? Does that explain why you type the way you do? I can barely understand the messages you send us sometimes. Is it because you go for C and you hit X instead?
Oh Christ!
So how about
no!
Also, fuck yourself. Okay, thank you, Sean. You're doing a good job. Also, are you playing on easy mode? Put it on easy mode.
Just get through it. Just
back out of the stage and put it on
Ruin it.
easy.
No one's good.
I
And
think it's
don't
gonna make
die.
a giant difference, but
It
You'll have to
may
go back
make the difference though.
Yeah.
Like-
What were you on Madness mode?
No, it's just normal, I
think
think.
you Yeah.
Whatever the default is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Don't do that.
normal.
There we go. Yeah, normal mode is just for average players, John. That could filthy
Oof.
casuals.
Oof. And,
Well, Sean's
and yet-
playing and also paying attention here. He's got shit to do. I'm gonna be fair about it.
What does like? Still, the game can be real challenging, man.
It is, yeah, and we don't want it to be Dark Souls hard. I don't want people sailing through, but I want there to be challenge, and not just because the attack bar system is not working. Well, it is working, but because it's not displaying the damage that you've done to people the way it should. I'm going to be working on that. That's on my list this week. Is the whole the attack bar shows you when you hit somebody, a red area showing where it's going to go down to,
Yeah.
and then it's
Street Fighter style.
Street Fighter style. Then it promptly goes down. That way you can tell that you've done that damage. That's very necessary because as you're shooting somebody, it's not fair to. Because when you shoot somebody and the red area fills up, the next bullet isn't going to be another area. It's actually going to be a little just a little nudge. So you do the damage and then it nudges it, and that's a safety so that you don't get just ganked by most gunners. But anyway, that's for later. But questions are for now.
Questions are for now. And here's something for the now. We were talking about what's it called? Performance of the game a little while back, and this is a question on that. Angel Fried asks, is the game's going to have better optimization? I swear my FPS dropped drastically from alpha to beta.
Yeah, I'm going to put a lot more options in there. There's part of designing the new menu system is going to be adding in keyboard control swapping. Yes, thank God. There's a reason we haven't done that, and it's because we're using the built-in Unity one, which means you can't change it. If you change your controls outside the game can't then know what you changed outside of the game. I don't know why, unless that's changed at some point in the recent past. But that does mean if you set up your controls before you start, you go in, the game has no idea that you did that, and then if you try to change your controls in game, it would just overwrite that. So all that is to say, there is going to be a lot of new stuff that we can do once we are designing the new menu. Not the least of which is also setting up visual and audio options anywhere besides just the main menu. So you won't have to quit back to the menu to turn the music off, for example. So yeah, that will be a thing. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Also, there's general game optimization that has to happen, like the stutter that happens every time it creates characters. I won't get into the details of computer science and why that happens, but let's just say that most games, you remember in Atari games how you could shoot like 3 bullets in Space Invaders, and then after the 3rd bullet, you're stuck, no more bullets until one of them left the screen. That's because the next bullet that you fired was the one that just left the screen. It was literally the same data. It was the same object in memory or whatever. In this game we don't do that. We create characters and then we remove them from the game when they're not necessary anymore, and then create new ones when they're needed, which is an extremely inefficient and generally frowned upon method. But there's reasons why we did it that way, and it has a lot to do with the customization between units, between characters. So because of that, that's been a problem, and I'm going to find ways around it. That'll get rid of that stutter for sure. And there's a couple other things on top of that I won't get into, but yeah, we'll be having more stuff in there.
Yeah. As speaking of adding customizing your keyboard options, people have asked that, and so hopefully that answers that question as well. Whoever was there's
going to be a much better system for that. Yes. Different languages too. Apparently, the translation team has put too much work in for me to say, nah, just learn English. So so that's also a thing that'll be in their language options at some point. Some of the core ones, Chinese apparently, because they've really been putting work into that.
Yes.
The Madness community for Chinese is freaking huge.
There.
Yeah. But on top of that, there's a lot of South American Spanish-speaking fans of Madness that I'd like to convert into that.
That'd probably be the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. A very succinct and very well-formed answer, I'd say.
The first time ever, yeah. And on both counts.
Yeah. Haley's Comet has passed, and that is what is provided.
In 70 years, I'll take another question like that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see. What is a good question?
I never know. I haven't found one yet.
I know. Cody Sullivan asks, so will there be cheat codes in the game to use as a sort of extra thing or to have fun with?
And I've been thinking myself recently of having a kind of what do you call it when you do the drop down developer
console?
Yeah, console. Yeah, I know words. Having a developer console thing in the main game, because we have a lot of cheats in the developer build that don't exist in the main game. It's like you press Control, or you can press L to insta-kill yourself, for example, and that's not in the real game, because why would we? Yeah, resurrect every corpse, or delete to kill every living person in the room other than your team. We have all these little tiny things, and I think I'd like to have some console commands that are like spawn underscore, and then the name of the unit. And then it looks for a stat card in our library that's like, oh cool, you wanted a grunt, here's a grunt. Things like that, and I'd love to have that kind of stuff in the game. You have to like enable it from the menu, for example, but so you don't, yeah. But I think I want to have a console thing in there. But we also, one of our Kickstarter rewards was literally old school cheat code style things added to the game.
That like a person would be given privately for their contributions. But,
Yeah.
If they want to, they can let it out or just have that as their.
Yeah, basically, right. The cheat code is just given to them, and if they want to release that online, we're going to do everything we can to cryptographically hide it so people can't just hack and figure it out. But we will be hiding in the game through a series of trapdoors, some cheat codes that they're the only person given that access to that cheat code, and they can choose to use it themselves or leave it in the game, and no one will ever know about it except for us, the developers, and them. I don't even think we're going to tell you guys, Walrus and Sean. I think
Oh my god!
I think it's a betrayal of trust, but
My god! I've put all this work in to get those delicious cheat codes. This is all I wanted.
so
Now
it's
now
yeah,
told.
it's like one of them stupid Ready Player One things.
that movie.
Here's a spoiler: there's Easter eggs.
Oh my
That's
god!
the spoiler. Is the entire thing is based on Easter eggs.
I have not watched that movie, and I
Yeah, movie's okay. I think it's all right. They try to make it relevant for like a more modern audience than every single game reference is a fucking 80s reference.
Nice.
I loved the book and hated it, and I mean really hated the references in that. It was so bad. It was and not so bad like Power Glove. It's so bad, which would itself be an 80s reference. No, like it was from The Wizard. It really is bad.
It's
But-
like the book basically entirely consists of those 80s references, like almost on every page,
And it's
like
not just the 80s references too. Like you reference
Yeah.
it, fine, whatever. He's got a DeLorean. Who cares? But the fact that the character, who bear in mind, his dialogue is written by the author, so it's not the character saying it was so cool or that was so rad. That's the author saying it and telling you how cool his reference is. I can't fucking stand it in books, Walrus. I can't stand it. I hold you personally accountable.
what?
When an author makes somebody say something in the book that's not funny, and then writes about how everybody in the room laughed at how funny that was, I fucking hate that. That is such fucking scoundrel shit.
Holy
It's so
shit!
lame. Yeah,
Whoa!
it's a personal laugh track. I can't. It's like Matt and I say all the time. Like we try to spare people the bullshit in our game about like you learn what Project Nexus is over the course of it. You understand what's really happening. What is an S3LF self?
Yeah.
Who is subject 1V 20P_6? Like who is that guy from Arena Mode? And yeah, like who is Hofnar? Who exactly was Christoph? For those of you who've never read the wiki before, I guess, or played Project Nexus 1.5, we try to show without telling. There's only so much that we can do that with, but we try to like spare it. We try to give you the minimum necessary and let you make up your own mind. If somebody has to tell a joke in a book and then describe how funny or scary it was, could you imagine if Stephen King wrote and then told you about how scary something was? Nothing ruins immersion like that. Nothing in the world. So Walrus,
It'd be like
do something
talking about gun shit, like
Yeah.
as in depth as I would about like calibers and fucking barrel lengths and this, that, and the other manufacturers. Shit's obnoxious.
yeah, like do you remember in one of the incidents, right, where the will it blend moment, and Hank's like, he sees the blender and he's like, you can see it in his face as he's like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, like you can like see it. You don't need to be told. That kind of thing. That's what we want to try to capture with this game, and it's hard because it's a game. But
Yeah, I think the thing is, I always notice that this series in general has an amazing sort of comedy to it. Like it's just there isn't much to characterize because you're basically dealing with meat puppets and who have crosses for faces, but it's so goddamn impressive how much sort of personality is just thrust into them.
I think
Sean's like got a gun on the table and all that ammo on the other table and he's throwing shit at the guys.
yeah, there's an ammo refill on the left, Sean.
Also, he threw
Or
a
below
loaded
you.
shotgun.
But even when I shoot them, they just dodge it, so it can't really.
Toss a grenade at them if you
No, it doesn't reach.
It does. You have you have to angle it at a quite specific.
Well, that's fine.
Well, you're aiming at the background. So your character's
shit.
changing the arc a little bit. Plus, your character's strength is only like so much.
Yeah, give it.
So what you do is you right-click to brace your aim, and then you just shoot one at a time till their attack bar is gone. Just pop, 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 like that. But yeah, Walrus, to continue your thought, what we see, for example, Sean right now is not telling you that you should be frustrated. He's just making you feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
Perfect, Sean. There you go.
I feel like this podcast is just going to be called "We Shit on Sean," the podcast.
Yeah.
This has just been relentless. Oof.
Hey, Sean. On a different note, I for the first time in like, how long was it ago that we met? Like 2 years or something?
4.
4 years.
Wow.
No, it wasn't 4 years.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, I for some reason I hadn't brought like a jacket or something, so I was like ill prepared for the weather, and I needed something for like the changing weather. It wasn't what the forecast had predicted.
Okay,
If
well,
London, can you imagine? Disappointing me with the weather. So I picked up when I was hanging out with Sean a jacket type thing, like a windbreaker. And I haven't worn that fucking thing. It's been in the back of my closet since I wore it in London. Hey, congratulations, Sean, you made it.
Why were you ignoring the pistol on that right table?
because you can't pick
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
in this
no.
stage.
What was that? What was that,
That's
Sean?
funny.
I thought I heard you say something. I didn't quite catch that. I will admit, yeah, that the pathfinding, if a character thinks he can't get to it, he's going to try to pathfind to it.
Yeah,
That's up to us to put it closer on the table.
Well,
But
maybe like tables platform.
yeah,
Oh,
I feel like that
my
was on
God.
purpose, is that we did that in the first place. But in retrospect,
It might
yeah,
be causing too much.
yeah. So, but yeah, Walrus. On that note, I think one of my favorite things in this, because starting to give characters voices in Madness lent it a lot more comedy that couldn't. Like Madness has comedy to it in the canon series, but it just in the game we weren't able to really display that. But now having words spoken, which is canon as far as Project Nexus, because Christoph and Phobos all talk in
they all
1.5.
spoke constantly.
Yeah, so the game's already established that's the case. And so
I
that's
think we've been handling it pretty well.
yeah. And Tricky talks in the canon. I mean, anybody who says no, yeah, is a liar. Freaking Jesus has a bunch of talking in his solo episode. That about that impious madness ending. Like that's him. He's saying it. It's not just a narrator. But that having been said, I think that blowing up the sheriff's sandbags and having the sheriff declare my favorite sandbags. He's just so upset at you for doing that. To me, that's one of the funnier spoken lines by a character. Yeah, he's the kind of guy to say, get off my case. I was having a great day. It was until you showed up and started killing everybody. He was having a really great day. Yeah. Or Sanford and Demos talking about like how Demos imagines Sanford as being like a hamburger or sausage. Yeah, not just right now, like always, like all the time. But you don't really catch and I love it because you're fighting, so you usually don't catch the conversation if you're just focusing on the combat. It's just your two dudes are just chattering amongst themselves.
Yeah, because like I don't want to do too much of that. Like, let's stop the game and make you more awesome writing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so we keep the cutscenes where you're frozen to an extreme minimum if we can.
Yeah.
Sometimes in some stages a splash shot where the camera comes sweeping in and then you control your
Like
dudes.
when
But
the sheriff has civil exposition, that's kind of like but necessary. And there's always the so.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Most of them are skippable except for the ones that can't be, because it would fuck up the pacing, like the truck chase at the very beginning of the game.
Right.
Ooh, that grenade. Poor choice.
Yeah, I like usually it's with the grenade. I like usually it's the AI throwing a bad grenade. Sean's gonna pretty much killed himself. Go resurrect him. Don't sit there with no corpus left, you jackass. You're gonna kill yourself. What are you doing?
Come on, guys! Don't even play video. I don't like Madness Project 2.
There.
It's not available on
Prefer arena mode.
Yeah. On second thought, let's not PayPal back Project Nexus 2. It's
Yeah.
a silly game.
That entire series is now on Netflix, and that pleases me immensely.
Word to the wise, by the way. If you are down to your last corpus and about to lose it, and your ally is dead, resurrect your ally immediately.
Kind of like meta
Yeah.
shit.
And this is easy mode too, so I think I might need to turn something down a little bit.
You think?
Like maybe dodging makes you fully invincible in easy mode.
That
Like,
would be good. Yeah.
so grenades, everything. You're just always invincible.
You
So
just Dark Souls your way through.
I thought he was gonna hit escape and go to quit. So Sean, for practice, just for right now, press hold down Control and then hit middle mouse button to see how your guy will go and stand in that spot. He's gonna try because you just told him to go to the conveyor, but so he will try to stay there. But yeah, that's your perma position. So as soon as it starts, you can use the thing, do the cutscene. Yeah, and then press X to get ready, so you don't have to run. So why don't we get some questions while we? I need a distraction from what's inevitably going to happen in this room.
Yeah. So off the topic of attacking Ernest Kleining's writing ability and how Mandus is way better. Let's see.
It's the author of Ready Player One, by the way, everyone.
Yeah. But God bless that person. Let's see.
He was supposed to teleport, but didn't. Oh well.
Whatever, it's fine. Why did he move
What's that?
after with the cutscene?
Oh, because the cutscene had given him a command to run to you, but because he was so far away, it didn't bother teleporting him.
It's dead
Too
already.
soon. Yeah, it wasn't ready yet. You killed a sniper though, I think. No, you did. Did he not? The other guy's gone. He might have been over there. Can't tell.
What the hell killed him?
Oh, you're dead, friend.
He only came in with like 1 health, didn't he?
They're both at one.
Stand over there.
Just accept it. It's fine. Anyway, I'm not going to accept how we haven't had a question, and I'm going to change that. Potato King asks, out of curiosity, is the game still guaranteed to launch on Steam after Greenlight died, or are you going to have to pay for Direct again? So, yeah, how's the Steam situation shaping up?
Nothing's changed there, to my knowledge.
Nothing's changed. I mean, anybody who's got a copy of the game right now will have access to the game. Like you have the full game.
It's
If
not
you
like
backed us on Kickstarter, you have the full game. You paid
it's
$60, $30, or $15 from PayPal, you have the full game.
Right. A lot of betas will do that thing where they give you the beta and pull it out and require you to purchase the actual game. This is not that.
And that's usually in under the circumstances where you basically paid for, or you didn't pay for the beta, you just got access to like the free beta.
It was a separate entity.
Yeah. Don't pull it yet, Sean. Did you not pull it yet, Sean? Oh, we're watching the old one, sorry. Are you doing it right? Did you do it?
I don't even know what this is. I'm so confused. What is going on?
What do you do? You're just sitting there.
I know, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Pull the lever on the left.
Oh, he's
and
dead
tell me what
already.
happens.
He died already.
Oh, is he dead? Then leave.
No, I meant Sanford.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Stanford died? Oh.
Right. I shall. The lever on the left makes it go. Lever on the right makes it fall down.
Okay, never mind.
Oh dear. Oh God.
This is the easy mode, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Madness Combat Project Nexus 2. We have
Think you
the
could do
best
better? Give it a
games
shot.
and the
So
best.
why don't you do some arena mode then?
Yeah.
I'm just
Show
gonna
some
quit.
murder room, that shit's fun.
Yeah.
Just gonna go to the arena mode. Vent the frustration.
You can sit on the menu.
I'm just glad to see somebody else struggled with that part of the stage too.
Oh no, it's nightmarish. Don't worry.
It's the real struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
No.
should have been the final battle, but whatever.
I want to hear it on the. Yeah, that was good. Okay. So yeah, guys, this game is not for the faint of heart. We are gonna, based on Sean's playthrough there, we are gonna do some extra stuff. I think I like the idea of you're invincible through your entire dodge, even when you're on the ground on easy mode. I think that would be fair. I mean,
right.
you should have some kind of advantage
Well, like,
in
I
easy.
always liked games that had a burst back in the day when I was like doing gameplay. I just stay with fucking Xbox mode because that shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like our game should have it.
I agree. And also, as we hit the 1.5 minute mark, right? Why don't we tackle some questions?
Fire off some more of these.
Yeah.
One more question coming in at you, real hot and heavy. Let's see.
Oh, yeah,
here.
like Bill is also pointing out in the feed that in hard and madness mode, there's actually 3 incinerators. There's one right in front of the button.
Oh yeah.
So you have to wait. You have to time it by waiting for the fire. Otherwise, you can really fuck yourself over.
Oh yeah. Grakiao, I'm gonna say it like that, and I don't give a shit if it's wrong. Okay, so this is a bit of a strange sentence, but I think I can piece it together. Is it possible to make objects you go in front of be slightly transparent when you walk behind? Isn't like to indicate where you are on the ground, or is that like really difficult to program? So this would be like, for example, when you're behind like a wall or something that's kind of difficult to see your character through.
We had that in the game for a while as
that gray outline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was giving us a lot of issues, and I'm gonna look into doing something for that.
Honestly, like I feel like what I ought to do with stages together is to like not set up two places where something like that would happen to you.
Yeah.
Mentally.
We generally don't have many of those, but it does happen, of course.
We need that shit flagged and then just worked around. So like, this game is very much set from the side or above. So like, we need to make sure that the stages are designed in such a way that like accommodates that. So, like in the earlier stages, especially when I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, that popped up a lot.
Yeah.
As we move forward, we need to fix the errors and ultimately try to prevent such a case of that happening, because I want you to have like a clear view of your character pretty much always, regardless of where you are in the stage.
Yeah.
A well-answered question, if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. All right.
My jam.
Let us see here. Gavin123098 asks, any idea on buttons and stickers times? I might be moving houses soon. So this would be presumably for the Kickstarter on that regard.
Yeah, we obviously we've put that off just because the game has been the number one priority.
Yeah.
And we come up with some promo stuff, and then it just doesn't look right because we've improved our art styles. The game has evolved, so we don't know who to represent. Like, imagine if we sent out stickers with the Nexus Core logo and it just doesn't. We've changed it by then, or so we've been holding off because it felt like the wise thing to do. But what we're going to do is, after we get towards early access, we're going to finally address that with people, and we're going to kind of come up with a consensus. It's going to be one or the other. We're not going to do, you can choose which one you want, but we're going to kind of go for the following. We're thinking what we'll probably do is, because we haven't committed to printing anything yet with stickers and buttons, so we don't have them yet, we might look into doing some unique DLC that only Kickstarter backers or anybody who would get buttons and stickers, like certain people from the PayPal pre-orders, would get. So it's not public DLC. This is not anything anyone can ever buy. You would get this probably through Steam, or we would send it to you or something. We'll come up with a way. But it would be something like new weapons, or like a new tiny stage or something like that for arena mode, or something you can.
Stage where we could personally.
Yeah, something practical that saves us having to worry about shipping and where you moved to, or whether or not we can get this to you. It would just be probably a key that you would punch into Steam, and it would add something to your game, because that can be done. So that's most likely, I think. And we're not going to cop out and like, oh, cool, you got DLC, buttons and stickers in the game for your character, which we could still do and do other stuff too. That would be funny, but and maybe you'd have it. It'd be like your proof that you are a
the hardcore.
You are one of our people who helped make this game possible.
Yeah.
So,
Brightest invest.
Yeah, and what better way than to actually have something in game? Like, sure, whatever, you have stickers, you put it on your your door or your dorm room or whatever, or you get like a whatever. But there are some bigger stuff in Kickstarter that we're still going to try to honor as best we can, like the prints and thank you letters and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yes.
The higher ups.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, sure. But like buttons and stickers, like the small thing, I think people would rather have rather than like $1.50 worth of stickers and $5 of shipping, have like $10 worth of DLC, just like a shit ton of stuff that we can just dump on you.
Fair enough. Let's see here. I think I have a few more questions for y'all before we take leave. Cody Sullivan asks, do you think this game will get banned in certain regions due to the violence? Interesting question.
Was that banned in regions? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Yeah, banned in regions because of what?
The violence.
They're not human beings, so I'd be stunned.
It's hard to say. I don't think that this defies anything that you'd like. Say, for example, Australia, I know, is rather stringent about certain things you can have in a game.
Germany.
We should just see if the new Wolfenstein is available in Australia, and if it is, then we're good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that there's a
the
little
violence in our game is particularly gratuitous. It doesn't feel like, and while the tone is pretty dark and grim, it's not like hatred or anything.
Yeah, right. It's right. Hatred it's got a spirit to it. That's definitely not what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But I think if we can see if Wolfenstein is being done in Australia and Germany, we might be good. Germany, I would wonder, because I know you can't really broadcast the swastika anywhere. I know it's actually an illegal symbol.
I think when they were making the new Wolfenstein, they actually completely changed that. Certainly, they changed it in the original, the original New Order. They made the swastika non-existent and just replaced it with something else.
There's probably Iron Eagles everywhere or something.
Yeah. But I think there may be certain things that may like. I don't personally think that this game will get like region banned or anything like that, because, as you say, these characters aren't exactly human. They're basically puppets filled with blood and guts, which fair enough. Guts
and
are.
They also want to do this, and they're all willing participants.
Yeah. This is consensual violence.
Yeah, you'll notice that not a single person in this ever begs for their life.
Yeah,
they're so happy to be doing this.
Yeah.
And that is also important to the Madness world. That is the way it is. We're not making concessions because with the game you have to be more careful. But Bill Z did actually warn me that that certain games have like an upper limit to the amount of bloodshed that can be displayed in games in China. So what we'll probably end up doing is have a violence filter that you can use to like make it like, I don't know, in like Japanese anime levels of blood versus safe like kid version, where you just turn off all violence entirely. Nobody loses body parts.
Yeah, they did that with Mortal Kombat, the NES version.
And nobody dies; they'll get KO'd, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all sweat instead of blood.
And guns would still be there, but it would be like it's like airsoft mode or something.
Yeah.
They're playing tag, and it's all cricket rules. So.
You've done melted them up good.
Yeah, and that would be easy to do. And we have always actually wanted paintball mode. I still want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it. We have ammo that has gravity effects, and you would be able to shoot. Your character would compensate for the aim based on that.
Right.
With grenades, yeah. Though shooting up, I do still need to work on that arc a little bit, because Sean was having trouble getting things up there.
True.
But anyway, yeah, that's the regional restriction worries that we have, and we know it's going to be fine. It just matters what concessions we're willing to make, such as removing violence if people want it. That's their choice.
Actually, yeah, I'm looking at like the list of games. Australia.
Well,
I
Postal.
think we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Most of this stuff is just because they were like cheeky and trying to get banned.
Yeah. Is Hatred on the list?
Yes.
It's not even like bloody violent compared to most games
It's just
either.
the tone, yeah.
It's entirely a game that's making light of murdering innocent people who are and trying to make it feel like you're not playing a game but are having a real life experience.
Yeah.
At least in Postal 2, like you're in a world where everyone would suffer.
Oh, Postal 2, that wasn't banned, was it?
Yes.
It was. I think they must have done that on principle, because they're like, oh, it's running with scissors. Let's do it again.
That's true. We know you guys.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
You can
There's
take your game off.
there's no legit reason to ban Postal 2 on its own merit. Yeah, and well, right. Also, you don't have to shoot or kill anyone. That's the beauty of the game. The entire game is beatable without firing a bullet.
Right.
Just are you willing to put that work in?
Favorite part will be the bank always.
Fucking did it before New Vegas. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, okay, regional shit. Moving on.
All right.
Question number 3, our third question of the day.
Yeah.
This is our entire third question. We have not asked anything apart from the 2 questions so far. This is the complete and utter truth. Let me see here. Cody Sullivan asks, how many game bugs have ended up becoming features in this game so far, if at all?
Like I mentioned, the guys suddenly having a huge propensity for charge-up attacks. Like, I was kind of really digging on that. The Zoldats, the Bandit Brutes would kind of take them away because like, they're already pretty tough. But like Zoldats, especially if they come in unarmed, watching them whirl around trying to fucking get you is great.
Because that's sort of a bug. It's not really, but it's like it's something that we hadn't intended. Because we, for the longest time, enemies never had the charge-up attack. Where you hold left mouse button, you do your thing. Is Sean done playing, by the way?
Yes.
Just put on interactive mode and just let people keep I guess.
I thought we were ending this. How long?
Are we? I'm ready for another hour of questions. Just kidding.
Okay.
We are. We should rapid fire through some questions.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
All right,
But that is to say, like, what are like actual bugs?
Actual real bugs. I don't know. I know that the charge up thing was interesting. Enemies had the skill to charge up, but they didn't have the AI command to tell them, "Hey, you have this, so use it." And so because of that, nobody was doing it. And then suddenly, everybody that we just left the charge up on without thinking about it suddenly could do it. And that got us thinking, like, well, maybe we should give that to certain characters. Yeah. But honestly, more often than not, Matt and I are very hard on ourselves. We don't let that kind of shit slide. Like, fuck it, whatever. We'll just leave it in the game.
Right.
So far, I don't know if there's been stuff that's been like, wow, that's cool that happened, even though we didn't mean to. Let's fix it, but then put it back in on purpose. I'm not sure. Jury's out on that. I'm not sure. That is a good question, though. I like that.
Something I explicitly reminded because there's so many like little things in the game running around. Nothing's.
Yeah. So next question, so we can end this boy. Yeah.
All right. I'll get you a couple more questions coming your way.
Oh, thanks.
Spore asks, can you guys open up the update logs for all people, not just the beta players, or at least some way to see the logs?
I mean, they're public. They're uneditable, but public. Like people, we just need to like have it pinned somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. The only place it's pinned up is in the chats.
Yeah, and that chat is only accessible to
I
backers,
suppose I
right?
can toss it up Twitter or something.
Right. We could, but at the same time, the changelog is only really relevant to backers, so we haven't really cared to.
It's just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, more than anything, if you're just looking for like feature updates, just go on Facebook on the odd chance that we put something up, or the Project Nexus 2 Twitter or Matt's Twitter, Crinkles' Twitter. That I'd say just get your updates there. The changelog isn't really relevant.
All right, fair enough. Let's see here.
Let's
see here. Kenny Williamson asks, I think I heard something about there being a mode where you're a boss man sort of person. You make your own agency and you defend it from the good guys. What is the status on that? I presume it'd be DLC.
That's AHW mode, yeah, and that would be DLC. That would just be like a very simple like.
Yeah, we didn't reach that goal.
Yeah, that would have been a Kickstarter goal. We didn't get there. We would have been able to, with that money, hire like Mind Chamber to work on assets, and he's already a post office worker. He's a mailman now.
Just snipe him up from the government cheese.
Yeah, basically we would have to have enough money to tell him, hey, listen, we can pay you an excellent salary to do this full time, so stop working for your tenured job that you will never lose as long as you keep showing up for it. So because that wasn't an option, because we didn't make that goal, it's basically a pipe dream for DLC. Something we'd like to do. I think it'd be a fun little game mode where you just quickly set up like a quick base. Like it wouldn't even be like a long-term game, like where you save your progress over time. It's just like, bam, here's some money, build like 2 rooms, cool. Put down your doors, cool. They're connected. Put down some furniture. Put your cover.
Here comes Hank.
Yeah, and then here comes Hank. Oh, you lasted this long. It's like a tower defense. Here's your cash. Okay, do it again. Start like you go back to having that same setup. Add more rooms. Add more stuff. Oh, you unlock new weapons. Do it, or like you spent money to unlock weapons. Do it again.
Hide the MacGuffin further back.
Yeah, and you keep doing it till like the first guy that comes through, you kill him. You're like, great, you did it. You upgrade to the next harder guy, and then you have to survive that.
So it'd just be a back and forth of your base getting stronger and the protagonist can't you get.
Yeah, there's no new game features, just a new interface to drop things down.
Honestly, like I feel like that would be pretty good usage of all that AI power that's going on in the game. Because like honestly, one of the eye openers watching him do that shit in interactive, just dropping mercs and a bunch of next guys, and they just fight and run around and act tactically against each other. That shit is great.
Yeah,
and I see like HW mode being something showcase that immensely.
I think it'd be fun to have like whoever got the killing blow on your how about that? That'd be great. Guy who got the killing blow on the enemy, you can like choose to like upgrade him as a hero or something.
Right. So
yeah. Just an NPC guy, and maybe in the next one he's like a Patsy boss version of oops, I bumped my mic. Everybody heard that. He's like an upgraded version of himself, and he could just die off, and he's like nobody.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, we have ideas for AHW mode. It's not going to be overly complex. I think it'd be a neat little thing to throw in to continue to raise interest and have it play like interactive mode, like you said, but with a goal. But that's basically probably it for that. And that'll be down the line, and it wouldn't be expensive because we would put too much work into it. It'd be a small feature.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. I think I've got at least one more question for you before we hit the sack, Jack. Let's see here. Quentin asks, will there be any features connecting story mode and arena mode together? Like perhaps playing through the story mode with your arena fighter, and then you fight against them in the actual story mode.
Yeah, at some point we're going to add these changing booths, where we're thinking like Clark Kent phone booths that you use in the overworld sectors of story mode, that you would use them to swap out your teammates with anybody else you've unlocked or your arena character. Any of them, which does mean that you would then have access to, you could just build a team of all your arena guys together if you wanted,
and then plow through the fucking story mode.
Yeah, exactly. Now this only works for the overworld sectors, and then once you start a stage, you have to play the guys that are there. Eventually, we're going to take it further and let it be so you can swap out characters with other characters.
Yeah, at the character select, getting to the stage.
You'd be limited by the number there. So if it's a stage with one Hank character and nobody else, you're limited to one character. Pick Sanford, pick your arena guy.
Stage. This is a two-person.
Yeah, but as far as like, I want to have a match where it's me and instead of Hank and Jesus, it's Hank and my character.
Right. So you can live out the dreams of fighting alongside Hank.
Yeah, there's more stuff that we need to work out with that. Like Jesus has powers that nobody else may. You may not have bought the Jesus telekinetic power thing in arena mode, and thus a stage is completely unplayable if you don't have Jesus in it.
This is true. Like one of the arenas or one of the asylum stages kind of counts on your ability to up from.
Yeah. So because of that,
stage characters can't.
Right. So that's proofing and bug testing and balancing. But for the most part, at least, you'll be able to run around in story mode in the overworld sectors, at least, as any of your guys. Plus, we'll have some like they also exist in the same world. Your arena characters are doing things at a time not quite the same as story mode, but still dealing with that same world.
Yeah. It's not disconnected from the canon.
Yeah, you're not in the same city. You're not in Nexus City, as far as we can tell, because there's like people walking around. And,
It's an active, a living city.
Yeah, some other place, but you with the helicopter, you get access to Nexus City and you fly in and do stuff there. But anyway, next question. Do we have quite a few more?
We don't. Not really, honestly. I think that was going to be the last one, but I think
we're running out of minutes and questions.
I've got. I think I can get one more question in, and this is from Angel Freed. Are there going to be Steam trading cards when this game actually pops up on Steam?
Not immediately, but I think at some point, yeah. That's more stuff for us to do. We may have to outsource it for like the actual physical cards.
Yeah.
Like the artwork. Plus, I need to do achievements. I haven't even thought about that yet. Because why bother until we have the finished game with all the features, and why would we bother? Yeah, but that we will obviously have achievements. You have to. Even if it's one, we'll just beat the game.
Yeah,
there will be plenty. We'll try to imitate as many from the first game as possible and do some cool, fun stuff. But I think a good 15 to 20 achievements is like a solid goal.
Yeah. Mostly like beat this stage, do something.
Arena mode, beat every stage in Madness mode at some point. Crap. Story mode, beat every stage in Madness mode. Okay. And some other cool stuff that's not just you got to this level in story mode. Congratulations. Right. But we would still have
stuff like visually identify every hot dog and
max out all of your skills in one tree, for example.
Right. Get strength over 80.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
For super specialized. And also, we will have one. We will have a build like a murder room in Madness mode with a screwdriver only. Yeah. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Pistol whip counts. That's fine if you pommel strike him, but you can't have anything but nothing or screwdrivers equipped.
Right.
Gotta have it. So trading cards. Gonna have it. Gonna try.
I'll make that effort.
And to preempt it, workshop probably. We're gonna do our best. I'm sure someone's asked that.
All right, I've got one last question. This is from our boy Bill. Is the team taking care of themselves health-wise? With a little smiley face.
Is the team taking care of themselves?
Yeah. How are you doing, guys?
Good. That's a good question.
I'm in a pretty great place.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly because of the weather. I was grilling earlier today.
Oh, I'm miserable. It's freaking 85 degrees outside, and I'm sweating.
I'm trying not to enjoy it too much because everyone around me is miserable.
Right, I'm mad, and if he is having a good
making it work.
Things have been good, and if you can believe this, we average a pretty good amount of time working on the game, but about a couple weeks ago we decided we're just going to pull longer hours and
we have to start actually
working earlier.
Engines.
Yeah, exactly, because the game needs it, and for some reason I don't mind waking up and being tired. Believe me, I have no trouble eating a solid meal. That's never been my problem, but losing a couple hours of sleep and working a little bit on the weekend for the first time, ever. That I don't mind being a little tired throughout the week if it's getting the game done faster, and it's only for another month and a half anyway, month and a. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think we're doing all right. I feel pretty solid.
Yeah.
I got no excuse not to start running again now that the weather's appropriate, so I got to do that. But yeah, I think we're doing all right.
Nice.
We'll be better when this fucking shit is finished.
Yeah.
But yeah, does that conclude us for the day?
I think it does.
Good. We should schedule another podcast for towards the end of June to just kind of touch base and see where we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether or not how close we are to getting finished or we had.
Because right at the end of June, I think June 30th, I think I'm out of town for just 1 week for 4th of July.
Yeah, I know I'm out of here.
Okay, yeah. So we'll be taking a quick hiatus to just go back home or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be in Colorado or are you just out of town?
Out of town.
Okay. Yeah, and it's been a while since we've had the old breakaway. So for our sanity, we'll be doing that, and our goal is to at least get everybody who put $15 in playing the game
ahead of everyone else.
Yes, ahead of everybody else. Play the game, accrue the bugs. We'll be reading everything while we're out of town over that week, and then I'll be gone a week and a day. What about you? What do you think?
It's gonna be days over a weekend.
Okay, so yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be here sooner then. Yeah, that means all the testing and shit that we're gonna do. That'll calculate a couple more weeks of working in bugs after we get back, probably. Right. But at least the PayPal backers will be in, at which point we can shut down the PayPal. We've got the cash to fund us through until we've gotten onto Steam Live and started actually selling the game. So we'll do if you guys, the team, Walrus, Sean, and of course Devin, if you guys, and Bill, when you're feeling up to it, if you guys are up for a podcast at the end of June, I say we go for it.
You know, I'm always up for making mouth noises at people.
Good, awesome. So am I. I need more days like this where I'm low on blood sugar and getting dizzy because of too much caffeine, no food, and I haven't taken a breath in 2 hours.
Very nice.
I need that in my life.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. It makes you feel real. It makes you think, "Wow, God, how am I alive?" And then presumably you just don't think about it and then keep on doing it.
And you know, it's nice to have one of these podcasts where we come bearing good news, which is the end is so in sight, it's unreal.
Yeah, it's kind of freaking me out.
Yeah. So, yeah, there we go.
Thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
All 103 of you, right there.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, you those of you who are not just fair weather friends, you're here for us.
Yeah.
And just a quick, did I miss anything that I had to answer question-wise?
There was a question about the music coming out just before you joined. Like, when is the soundtrack going to be made available?
Yeah.
And our answer was when the game goes live on Steam. We'll be doing the same thing for the music, but if you've got a different opinion...
No, that's pretty much, that was going to be my answer. It'll come out on Steam, and then I think we're shooting for Spotify and a couple of the other digital platforms just to have access.
Yeah, I guess it'll be lower quality versions on like Spotify and SoundCloud and Bandcamp and whatever, right? But the high definition stuff is like the for sale on Steam. And
oh yeah, no, they'll get the uncompressed waves through Steam as long as they... That's also depending on what they say we can upload, like for an album.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they might say, "Hey, a gigabyte of music, go f yourself." That's not happening.
They seem to be fine with 5 gigabytes of an indie dev game from a group they've never heard of before. So I think we might be all right.
Yeah, well, we should be fine. And so Steam will get like the best version, which would be uncompressed. Everywhere else will be 320 KBS.
Yeah, and anybody who got a copy of the soundtrack via Kickstarter or wherever else would also be getting access to that. You'd basically be getting a key, and then you would download it for free, just like you got the game.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. So there we go.
Excellent.
So, all right, thanks everybody for showing up. I felt like this was a solid podcast.
Yeah.
I like the questions this time. They weren't a lot of just when's the game coming out, and I'm sure there were those questions, but we also
filtering them.
Yeah, thank you, Walrus. Excellent job as always.
I always make sure we get the questions that are the most delicious.
They're so crunchy.
I was hungry at about 2, but at 4:00 p.m. I feel rather satisfied. I don't know if I'll be able to pull an early dinner.
So when is the game coming out?
Who the fuck knows? We'll tell you about it, Devin, or find out on Project Nexus 2 Podcast, episode 18.
Whoa!
I think we mentioned it. I think we mentioned it every 15 minutes. So 2 hours.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I say we cut it off, and we will catch you towards the end of June. And also on Facebook and Twitter, Discord, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, we'll be noisy there.
Yeah, you'll hear from us.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
I love you.
Sorry.
I love you.
I love you.
Oh,
The classic, the Walrus voice where he's saying "I'll have you," but it's "I love."